with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Next, on Daring Abroad, we take you to Dubai, the city of gold.
My name is Crispin Mangongo. In Dubai, I run a security company.
My name is George Ogango. I'm the CEO of First Global Events Company.
On Kenya to the World, why this Dreamliner has been repurposed into a cargo aircraft. This Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on NTV.
I'm waking you up to the hottest morning show.
Tina Kagia, The Morning Fix, Nation FM.
Hey, how are you doing? I am Tina Kagia, aka The Voice. And every single morning, starting from 6 up until 10, catch me on The Morning Fix on 96.3 Nation FM, where good music lives. Let's have awesome conversations. Talk about life, love, money, politics, school, education. No topic is out of bounds.
Mornings with Tina Kagia, 96.3.
Nothing but the best of conversations. Talk about your stories, because honestly, it's important to unwind. See you every day.
All the hits with Tina Kagia.
They're my morning show.
The Morning Fix on Nation FM.
Nation FM.
Where good music lives.
This beautiful setup is all because it's Valentine. With me is a special picture-perfect couple.
I don't think there's anyone who can be able to live with me. I think it's only you. Before, me loving Gathoni was just, it was like breathing. Unfortunately, Gathoni was interested in my friend.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
I saw a pink box. When I opened, I found a ring. And the interesting bit about that ring is that I had picked it out myself.
I just knew she was the one.
Join me, Grace Salame, this Saturday from 8 p.m.
Welcome to Insignia Service Center, a state-of-the-art service center that offers diagnostics, repairs, wheel balancing and alignment, and a fully fledged high-quality paint booth. Insignia Group, consistent excellence.
Cabling tip. Verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range in lives.
Komesha Corona. Wash your hands using soap and running water or use an alcohol-based sanitizer. Maintain social distancing of 1.5 meters and always wear a mask.
Avoid wearing your mask under your nose, under your chin, because this doesn't protect you. The droplets can still land in the environment and things can still land on your nose and mouth.
Komesha Corona. Okoa maisha.
This is NTV.
Good afternoon and welcome to our 1 o'clock news update. My name is Olive Burrows, coming to you live from the Nation Center. We're also live from other locations as we follow developments at this hour. Bridget Ngana will be joining us live from Nakuru County, and she's following up on the early tragic morning accident at Gilgil that has claimed 9 lives. 2 lives were lost from a plane crash last night in Nanyuki, and Melita Oletenges will fill us in from the Nanyuki Civil Airport there. And we have Vincent Odor, who is at the commissioning of the Uthiru Health Center, where the president is presently speaking. Let's go straight there.
Ahadi yake ni moja tu, ni nini? Tumelipa. Na mimi nimefurahi sana na nataka kuwashukuru wale wote ambao wamehusika kutoka wakati tulianza hii shughuli. Wamefanya kazi mchana na usiku mpaka tumemaliza. Daktari sasa wamefika pia, na tutahakikisha ya kwamba tumeleta vifaa na madawa ya kutosha kuhakikisha wananchi wa area hii ya Uthiru kutoka sasa hawatakuwa wanatembea mbali ndio waweze kupata matibabu yao. Si hivyo? Na ndipo niliwaambia mimi sio mtu anakuwa na vita na watu. Mimi haja yangu ni kuona maendeleo, ni kuona wananchi wakifaidika kulingana na ile kodi ambao wanatoa. Hiyo tu ndio shida yangu. Si hivyo? Na nataka nimshukuru Jemedari Badi na watu yake. Nataka niwashukuru viongozi wa county. Nataka niwashukuru wale wote ambao wanahusika kwa idara ya afya, kwa serikali kuu. Nataka kuwashukuru pia wale ambao ni wa idara ya maji. Kila mtu amefanya kazi yake kulingana na vile tulikubaliana. Na yangu ni kuwauliza wananchi vile niliwauliza safari hiyo. Haja yetu ni umoja wetu. Haja yetu sio kuja kugawanywa na kupiganishwa. Sisi tunataka watu wawe kitu kimoja. Na tunataka viongozi ambao watashughulikia mahitaji ya wananchi, lakini sio siasa duni ya kugawa wananchi, wewe ni hii, wewe ni ile. Sisi hiyo haisaidii mtu. Tunaelewana? Kwa sababu maendeleo ikija, tutengeneze mabarabara, kazi ya ujenzi itaendelea, wengine watakuja waweke viwanda vyao hapa, vijana wapate kazi. Hakuna kazi itapatikana by miracle. Hakuna. Ni kulingana na zile shughuli ambazo tunatekeleza ndizo zitahakikisha ya kwamba tumejiondoa kutoka umaskini katika taifa letu la Kenya. Tunaelewana? Na hakuna haja ya kuincite wa Kenya wapigane wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Unakuja unasema kwa mdomo mmoja serikali ni mbaya, alafu kwa mdomo mwingine ati tumefanya kama serikali. Kwani serikali ni ngapi? Unajua serikali ngapi Kenya hii? Ni moja ama ni mbili? Moja. Si ni moja? Si ni moja? Kama unataka uzuri wake, kae naye. Kama unataja ubaya wake, toka uache wale wengine waendelee. Lakini huwezi kuja na mdomo mmoja unasema hii, mdomo mwingine unasema matusi ya wale ambao mko ndani yao na mmesema mnafanya na wao. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu? Kwa heshima sio? Tuheshimiane jameni. Na tukiheshimiana, Kenya itakuwa nchi nzuri, itakuwa nchi ya maana, itakuwa nchi safi, itakuwa nchi ambao Wakenya wanajivunia. Lakini ukikuja kila saa ni kupiganisha, kugonganisha, unasaidia nani? Kuti kwa sababu wanataka kutati ati uwezo wako, ujuaji wako ni vile mdomo yako inatoa matusi. Kwa maisha ni matigana na shida tutuna. Mkitaka tuje tushirikiane kwa kazi, shida hatuna. Mkitaka tukuje tuendelee kujenga Kenya, shida hatuna. Na ndipo tunasema tunataka hata tukienda kwa BBI, tunataka watoto wa Kenya wote wawe wanapata basari kulingana na wale wengine. Hapa najua hapa Uthiru nini, hakuna mtoto hapa anapata basari zaidi ya shilingi 1,100. Kweli ama sio kweli? Na kuna wengine watu wanapata basari ya shilingi 1,100. Hiyo ni haki? Tukisema tunataka constituency nyingine hapa ndio wananchi waakilishwe na pesa ya CDF iongezeke, tumesema ubaya. Tumesema ubaya. Tukisema tunataka ya kwamba badala ya kusemekana ati nyinyi wote ni watu ya Kawangware, kuwe na constituency hapa na nyinyi pia muweze kuandikiwa vijana kwa jeshi, kwa polisi na kwingine, mbaya. Kuna njia nyingine tutaweza kumaliza umaskini jamani? Watu wasituletee bwana. Mwazo kama kohenyo. Atirumana yatiringi bila mwenda. Aramwenda lako. Aramwenda kere mura kama mumi yale. Leo ni otira kulia Burundi. Please, I don't know kire. I don't know mabeli yangu isi ene kile tuleo. Ama ni namna gani mnazao? Unajua mimi napendanga haki jamani. Mimi sina madharau na mtu, lakini mimi napenda haki. Huwezi kuja upande mmoja unatusi, na upande mwingine unasema angalia. Unaangalia nini umefanya? Kama mwingine kitu ni moja, we are either together or we are apart. But you cannot come and take credit and then at the same time insult those you are together with. Does that work? Ati wewe duka yako wewe mzee wewe. Radora hawikitie moko huko. Ati wewe hau ati okedia duka ine yako okerwo nona bidhaa icio ria cienjaga. No dukero ne dukani gukunyo kagore. Megothia gogo. Kule handu hathia gogo. Kana ukabucare yako haha. Nona nyama haha Nono la sieda media kapiu no le dukagule bucare no e dukagule re hare. Nei tiga igutulehera maundu. Andu magĩrĩirwo nĩ kwaria mana kĩhoto kĩrĩa kĩ ngoro-inĩ yao na marie maũndũ marĩa megũmateithia na megũguna andũ. Igatiguo ndũkwenda mwana waku athome ta ũrĩa ũngĩ. Ithe ndũkwenda ũguo. Ndũkwenda mbeca ciongerereke gũkũ nĩgetha gũtuĩke atĩ kwanyu kwĩna mbeca ciganaine na kũrĩa kũngĩ. Igatiguo mũrenda. Ndũkwenda ana
I'll need someone to translate a bit of what the president said there, but the gist of it, I can only assume, is aimed at his deputy president. And he says that you cannot claim the successes of the Jubilee government on one hand while criticizing it on the other hand. Make up your mind, are you in government or not? That's the president in Uthiru opening a health center facilitated by the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. I did mention earlier that we have Bridget Ngana in Nakuru, where 9 people have died and 5 others have been injured in an accident along the Nakuru-Nairobi highway. The morning crash occurred when a Nakuru-bound lorry rammed into a 14-seater matatu heading to Nairobi. Bridget Ngana, as I mentioned, is live from there. She's on the highway. Bridget, what additional information have you managed to gather?
Well, it has been a morning where dreams have been shattered and lives have been cut short along the Nakuru-Nairobi highway. We're in Gilgil sub-county, and some few kilometers from here is when the morning accident took place involving a 14-seater matatu that was full to capacity, meaning it contravened the COVID-19 regulations on social distancing, and it was on its way to Nairobi from Njoro in the morning. And also the crash happened when an oncoming vehicle, which is a heavy freight vehicle, commonly known as a trailer, rammed into it. The trailer was overtaking. It was coming from Nairobi towards Nakuru. Now, what has happened is that we have already spoken with some of the survivors. An interesting thing, it's a miracle of sorts, is that one of the survivors was sitting on the front seat together with her child, have been able to survive this accident. Unfortunately, her husband has died. So we're talking about the death toll right now being at 9 people have been confirmed dead. Their bodies are at the Gilgil sub-county morgue hospital, and the survivors, some of them are at the St. Joseph's Hospital, and also those who are critically injured, 2 of them have been rushed to the Nakuru Level 5 Hospital. We have spoken with the Nakuru County Department of Disaster and Humanitarian Services, and we see that there's a lapse in terms of the enforcement of the COVID-19 regulations, in terms of the passenger seating positions, and also the issue also to do with the adherence to the COVID, to also the curfew rather, the president has put in place. Remember, the vehicle, the passengers were from Njoro heading towards Nairobi. They came from Kihingo, and when they arrived in Njoro town, they were put in another vehicle that was dispatched now at around 4:30 heading towards Nairobi. Now the accident occurred about 20 minutes after their departure, and what we do understand is that they were traveling, some of them even got into the vehicle. Now the vehicle that ferried them from Kihingo to Njoro was at around 2 in the morning. So there's a lapse there in terms of the security organs also ensuring that Kenyans are adhering to the curfew and the COVID-19 protocols. But we have also spoken to some of the survivors, the families. It's really a heartbreaking scene, you know, trying to get to terms with the reality. Some of them had spoken with them. They had other errands. They were going to visit their families. Some were going for business. Some were also going to do their own daily errands in Nairobi. And unfortunately, this accident this morning cut their lives short. So this is a story we're developing, and we do hope to get to the meat of the matter in the subsequent bulletins.
Thank you, Bridget. I did mention that Melita Oletenges was at the Nanyuki Civil Airport. Unfortunately, they've been cleared out of the area. But moving from the story on the roads, that is the Gilgil crash in which 9 people were killed. Let me just bring you up to speed on what happened in Nanyuki. And a pilot from the National Air Support Department under the Ministry of Defense and a KWS officer were killed in a crash last evening. And the pilot and the KWS officer had just concluded a routine patrol at the Solio Rhino Sanctuary and were destined for the Meru National Park. As I said, Melita Oletenges is following up on that and will have a more comprehensive report for us at a later time. Several members of the County Assembly of Baringo have spoken after the chaotic session on Thursday, where it was declared that the BBI bill was shot down. These were the disorderly scenes from the County Assembly session after the BBI Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 was tabled and things turned physical. At some point later in the evening, police intervened, lobbing tear gas into the floor of the County Assembly, and they sent things into disarray. But somehow a vote on the BBI bill was taken, with the Speaker David Kiplagat declaring that it had been defeated, with 30 voting against it, against 10 MCAs who voted for it. MCAs who support the bill claim that the vote was not done in a procedural manner, while those who oppose the bill say the decision of the House stand by the decision of the House, making it the first County Assembly to shoot down the BBI bill. I have to say that was a story I've been keeping an eye on. I wanted to know how things eventually played out. Now, with all the talk about the BBI bill in the county assemblies and the drama it's attracted there, some responses in terms of support for the BBI are coming in from various stakeholders. A small group of women in business in Nairobi have resolved to support the Building Bridges initiative, noting that it has more benefits for women, the women who are currently in a day-long training on the benefits captured in the BBI for women through a session organized by the Women in Business Association, now say there have been falsehoods that have been advanced against the document, and it was time the benefits were sold to Kenyans so that they can understand the end point. Gloria Ndeke, an economic consultant, told the women there would be more business opportunities for them in the counties through the county governments, and suggested an increase of resources to counties from 15% of the national revenue to 35% would go a long way into creating opportunities for women.
We want to have discussions around what we can be able to do to elevate ourselves to the level that can be respectable. That when we are walking on the road, that somebody points at you, says that is a woman from Kenya.
Ninataka ukienda huko usiseme mmenyimwa pesa, mati sijui za WEF, za NGAF, ni nyinyi wenyewe hamujataka kujua kuzitafuta.
There was some drama in Parliament when it was revealed that the Nyali Member of Parliament, Mohammed Ali, had entered the precincts with his firearm. The session was interrupted a bit when the MPs raised concern over the breach of security. Now, according to parliamentary procedure, all MPs must surrender their firearms with the Sergeant-at-Arms before entering the chambers. The Nyali MP was asked to explain what happened.
I think sometimes as members of Parliament, it's good and wise to behave like gentlemen. We are all human beings, and sometimes you end up forgetting doing something. If my honorable colleague saw there's a problem, he could have approached me quietly, politely, and tell me to surrender, rather than announcing my name on the national television and threatening my security now. I think, Mr. Speaker, this is a bad manners for a member, honorable member of Parliament. Rather than talking to you, he's making it a tanga-tanga affair. Mr. Speaker, sir, the law of this country allows each and every member to apply for a licensed gun. So, Mr. Speaker, what my colleague could have done was simply to approach me quietly, and I would have moved out and surrendered the thing to the Sergeant-at-Arms.
Kenyan politicians never cease to amaze. There were distressing scenes on Landis Road in Nairobi last evening after a 30-year-old woman was killed by a stray bullet. Gina Kiruri with that report.
It is roughly 5 p.m. and Jackie Mogore is heading home from where she operates as a fruit vendor in the CBD. Minutes later, however, a stray bullet pierces her neck. Following this, frantic phone calls are made to her friends and relatives, delivering the painful news. Jackie has passed on. Jackie is described as a breadwinner, a sister, and a friend. The details of the shocking incident only seem to add salt to the wounds of her loved ones.
Kulikuwa na mwizi anatoroka, alafu polisi akashoot. Jackie alikuwa anapita, stray bullet ndio ikampata by bad luck.
Mimi nimepigiwa na nikapata wamenipigia call mingi. Ndio nikachukua akaniambia nikuje hapo, sikuwa nimeenda nyumbani, alikuwa amenituma kwake kwa nyumba.
Jackie's family in particular is hardest hit as she was the pillar of her family.
But she's an orphan and she's a single mother and she takes care of her siblings and her late sister's children.
The crowds that gathered here to witness the incident were eventually dispersed by police officers using tear gas. And when the dust settled, her body was transported to the mortuary. But the shock and pain remained with those left at the crime scene. Gena Kirori, NTV.
Our condolences to that family. And as we take this next break, on the other side, we'll be telling you about a proposal to change the legal age limit for, or is it smoking, from 18 to 21.
Royal Mabati offers cost-effective, weather-resistant quality sheets. Get gauge 28 at 670 Kenya shillings, gauge 30 at 370, gauge 30 met at 530, Royal Alu Zinc at 280 Kenya shillings. Buy today and lipa pole pole with a guaranteed delivery countrywide, located along Mombasa Road, Mlolongo, and at different branches in different towns. Call us today on 0722 638383. Royal Mabati Factory Limited. We are the best.
Cabling lives.
The Ministry of Health would like to remind all Kenyans that coronavirus is still among us and that we must continue to adhere to all preventative measures to contain the spread of this deadly disease, including proper wearing of face masks.
Avoid wearing your mask under your nose, under your chin, because this doesn't protect you. The droplets can still land in the environment and things can still land on your nose and mouth.
Komesha Corona. Okoa maisha.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV at One. My name is Olive Burrows, and as I mentioned at the start, we have Melita Oletenges in Nanyuki, where a aircraft crashed, killing the pilot and a KWS officer. Melita Oletenges, do we know what caused the crash? Was it a weather issue, or is it a matter that's still under investigation?
Right, Olive, the police here and the National Police Control Department have started investigations into what exactly caused this crash here at the Nanyuki Civil Airport yesterday evening. And 2 people died in this crash, the pilot and a service officer with the Kenya Wildlife Service. And we are here at the site of the crash, Olive, and as you can see, there is the wreckage of the plane 5YKWL Husky aircraft that crashed yesterday evening, and the pilot and a service officer died on the spot. But with me, Olive, I have the Assistant Director of Kenya Wildlife Service, Mungumi Bakari, for the Eastern region, who's joining us just to give us an update on how the investigations are going on. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Perhaps this is a very grisly crash. Perhaps what are the findings so far?
Absolutely, very tragic, and to the entire Kenya Wildlife Service family, and in particular Eastern Conservation Area, in which the aircraft, the pilot and the company commander, who was a passenger, operate from. So far, we are still waiting for the aircraft investigation officer, air accident investigation officers, who will be joining us shortly. But like you rightly put it, this was a crash last evening about 17:30 hours, and it's very unfortunate, very tragic. Losing 2 trained personnel as regard to our work and operations is very sad, and we are indeed saddened, the entire KWS.
Perhaps is there any information we've had in regards to maybe the complications that were there before the plane came down?
To the best of my knowledge, this aircraft was serviceable, was airworthy, and there was nothing to allude to the fact that there's something wrong. So nothing to speculate on that front.
Thank you so much. You've heard it from Bakari Mungumi, the Assistant Director, Kenya Wildlife Service, Eastern Region, just saying that it's too early to tell what caused this crash. Remember, Olive, the National Air Support Department was formed by the President last year, December last year, and this brought together the air apparatus that are owned by the different services in the country. It is, it is meant to actually respond to emergency air support for the services, and this particular craft was under the National Air Support Department. So the investigations are going on. We've seen this area has been cordoned off for the better part of today and yesterday. We've actually have to go through very stringent measures to get here, but so far the investigations are underway. We're expecting the Kenya Wildlife Service will be able to release a report in the due course of the day. Back to you, Olive.
Death is never an easy thing to report on. Thank you for that report, Melita. Police were forced to disperse demonstrators in Likuyani, Kakamega County yesterday, who took to the streets to condemn a police officer for allegedly sodomizing young boys in the area. The police officer at the Matunda police station has been accused of luring young boys into his house before sexually assaulting them, then threatening them to be silent. Ruth Sarmwe has the details of that disturbing story.
Residents of Likuyani are angry. They are upset because of the rise in sodomy cases within the region, which they say are perpetrated by a police officer serving at Matunda police station. 34-year-old Constable Spencer Kibet is accused of luring young boys into the act and threatening them of dire consequences if they speak up. One recent incident involves a young boy who was not eaten for 3 days for fear of not being able to control his bowels. The pain became too much and the boy decided to open up to the family.
Ile mauongo yote alinidanganya, like nikilala naye after miezi 3 nitakuwa tajiri, na kuna chain amevalia kwa mkono inasema ati akiambia mtu yote about venye huwa analala na Spencer, hiyo chain huwa inasikiza, na after ameeleza atafariki. So kijana amekuwa akivumilia akiogopa kufariki.
Asubuhi tulienda na tukakutana na hospitali, mimi tukiwa na ndugu yake huyu. Tukaongea, akatuambia tuende hospitali, tumeenda hospitali. Tumeandikisha statement, lakini kile tunaambiwa ambacho tunaona kitufurahishi sana, anasema paka tutafute mashahidi wengine zaidi. Sasa tunashindwa, si huyu mwenye amepatikana kwanza ndio tungemalizana na yeye.
The furious residents say they have reported a number of incidents to the police but no action has been taken.
Police station ya Matunda tumejaribu kuomba usaidizi, watusaidie, hawawezi. Tuko na vijana zaidi ya vijana 8 na tuko na ushahidi wa shule ambao wamefanyikwa na kitendo kama hii.
Kila wakati tukisema tunyamazie, watoto wetu wataendelea kuharibiwa na sisi tukinyamazia.
Spencer anaharibu watoto ya shule. Wanaume anajisi nyuma na tumevumilia muda usiojulikana na tumefika mwisho. Kwa sasa tumeamua tujichukulie sheria mkononi kama serikali imekataa kusaidia.
The residents are calling on higher authorities to take up the matter, claiming the officers in the area are corrupt and are frustrating the residents.
Kwa ni mazoea, ni tabia, lakini hasa juu ni afisa aongelewi chochote, lakini sasa leo tumeamua kuchukua hatua kama wananchi tupate haki.
Matunda imekuwa kama polisi, ni kama ndio wakora wenyewe. Hawa ndio wanakuja kuchukua kila pahali. Kama huyu Spencer unasikia kila Jumamosi, kila Alhamisi yeye ndio uchunguza, anazunguka kwa manyumba zote akichukua pesa. Na yeye ni nani? Na polisi iko hapa. Tunataka tujue Matunda hii polisi ndio wakutusaidia ama hawa ndio wakutudhulumu?
Likuyani Police Commander Charles Matthew, however, insists that the matter is still under investigation. Matthew said the officer in question has sought transfer to Mandera County, but the matter is yet to be acted upon.
Tumefungua file. Hiyo kesi itachunguzwa na DCIO. Mpaka kama iko allegation kama hiyo ni ukweli, mpaka hiyo askari akuje tumpeleke kotini.
Ruth Sarmoi, NTV.
If I'm not mistaken, that is the second such incident that has been reported about police officers sodomizing young men. Definitely something to think about as a society. What could be causing it? How do we address it if indeed that gentleman there is found guilty of those offenses? Smoking could be banned for those younger than 21. A non-governmental organization, if it has its way, and that is the Africa Center for Corrective and Preventative Action, has petitioned Parliament to change the legal age of using tobacco from 18 years to 21 years of age. The ACCPA argues that it is in the best interest of 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and 20-year-olds, and such a move would protect their health. Currently in Kenya, under the Tobacco Act of 2007, the minimum age of legal access to most tobacco products is 18 years of age. Kenya has the highest recorded smoking prevalence in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2014, an estimated 11.6% of the adult population, that is 2.5 million adults, used tobacco products, and 10% of 13 to 15-year-olds, 12.8% of boys, and 6.7% of girls. This is according to a study done by the University of Bath, Tobacco Tactics findings. The ACCPA argues that the one who is 18 years of age may be recognized as being of legal age. They believe they may lack the social and economic abilities to control impulses. It's been argued that your brain is not fully formed until you're 21. What say you? The handle is at NTV Kenya. That is the Twitter handle. Mine is at Olive Burrows. Do let us know your thoughts on that. National flag carrier Kenya Airways has announced the resumption of direct flights to Rome from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And the direct flights are set to resume with 2 weekly flights on Wednesdays and Sundays. Flights to Rome were suspended in March 2020 following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. The management of Kenya Airways says it will continue to monitor and increase the frequency to destinations as more jurisdictions open up their airspace and ease travel restrictions. Kenya Airways has a code share partnership with Alitalia, offering connections in Rome and the rest of Italy, Europe, and the US of A. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports now. And Kenya is looking to fill the 80 slots allocated by the International Paralympics Committee as the country takes part in the World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in Dubai. That's right. Team Kenya is represented by 43 athletes that were picked during national trials held in January. There will still be another chance to qualify at the second round in Manchester, United Kingdom. Kenya has so far earned 4 qualification slots, with 2 in athletics, 1 in rowing and 1 in powerlifting. The Dubai qualifiers will be held from the 7th to the 14th of February. The 2020 Paralympic Games were scheduled for Tokyo from August the 25th to the 6th of September 2020, but were postponed to this year alongside the Olympic Games following the global outbreak of the coronavirus. Qatar has turned over 800,000 square meters of desert into a giant nursery to supply the 2022 World Cup venues with made in Qatar turf. The nursery will also provide the venues with homegrown trees and greeneries, a challenge in Qatar's harsh climate that can often reach 50 degrees Celsius in the summer. Using recycled water from one of the country's sewer treatment plants, the manager of the nursery says that what they've accomplished will be one of the World Cup's lasting legacies for the country, making Qatar more self-reliant for any future landscaping project. 12 different species of turf were tested at the nursery to find the best match for Qatar's climate and to comply with the FIFA standards. The turf is harvested 2 or 3 times per year. It is now installed in 5 stadiums. By the time the tournament kicks off, all 8 stadiums and all 41 training sites will be covered in the turf. And that concludes NTV at 1. More news at 7 and at 9 p.m. But in the event of breaking news, you know where you should stay tuned, and that is NTV.
Is